Hello, I'm Avis Kalfsbeck, and this is the Peace is Here podcast. Welcome to Peacewarts, School of Peacecraft and Inquiry, where we practice the skills of peace through short daily classes. We take the peace work seriously, but not ourselves. If you're joining us mid-school year, you're not late. Orientation begins at episode 198. I'd be so grateful if you help me spread the peace messages by sharing this episode with a friend. Welcome back, Peace Scholars. We are in the Department of Living Roots in the garden. Today we're gathered at the repair bench. In this department, we treat a broken tool like a wounded limb. We don't discard it, we mend it. Elizabeth Spellman, a professor of philosophy at Smith College who explored how the humble labor of mending sustains our shared existence, once wrote, "Repair is an exercise in the preservation of the world." The concept, the tool bench. Repair is the human application of the law of return. It is the realization that everything we own is made of borrowed earth. When we fix what we have, we are refusing to participate in the scarcity script that says we must always extract something new to be secure. In this department, we believe that repair is a strategic act of anti-consumerism. It interrupts the material conditions that historically lead to war by reducing the frantic demand for new resources. The history, cartels, charkas, and survival. Our lesson today is about the historical proof that fixing is a form of resistance. The Phoebus Cartel and the legality of waste. Between 1924 and 1939, this international body, including GE, Philips, and Osram, colluded to intentionally reduce the lifespan of light bulbs from 2,500 hours to 1,000 hours. They even established a testing laboratory in Geneva to find companies whose bulbs lasted too long. While the cartel was technically dissolved during World War II, it wasn't until a 1953 U.S. District Court ruling, United States versus General Electric Company, that they were legally held accountable for monopolistic practices. However, the damage was done. They had already set the blueprint for planned obsolescence that thousands of other companies followed, creating a global economy that requires constant extraction to replace items designed to fail. Gandhi's charka as supply chain sabotage. Mahatma Gandhi's spinning wheel was a piece of logistical equipment. By the early 20th century, India, once a world leader in textiles, had been reduced to a mere exporter of raw cotton, which was then sent to British mills in Lancashire and sold back to Indians at a massive profit. Gandhi realized that by repairing local wheels and spinning Khadi, hand-spun cloth, he could gut the British economic engine. He calculated that if every Indian spent just 1 hour a day spinning, they could remove millions of dollars from the imperial treasury. Repairing your own wheel was an act of divestment from an empire that funded its military through your dependency. Cuba's special period and the master inventors. The most modern evidence occurred in Cuba during the 1990s. When Soviet trade vanished, the island lost 80% of its exports. While the Cuban government maintained a rigid and often restrictive political structure, the people responded with a movement called ANIR, the National Association of Innovators and Rationalizers. They became master inventors by necessity. They created the Rikimbili, motorized bicycles made from old Russian telephone parts and chainsaw engines. They used glass IV drip bags from hospitals to make carburetors and turned old washing machine motors into water pumps. This culture of repair prevented the systemic violence that historically occurs during economic collapse. It proved that maintenance can substitute for militarism. The thesis: Maintenance as Civilization. The lesson for today is that peace is upkeep. We are often taught that civilizations fall because they are conquered, but a look at history suggests they often fall because they stop maintaining. When maintenance budgets are diverted to military expansion, the internal infrastructure begins to decay. In the Department of Living Roots, we believe that by maintaining what we have, we reduce the extraction pressure at the start of the chain. If we don't need to replace, we don't need to seize. The boring daily work of the whetstone and the oil rag is a form of high-level diplomacy. It is the work of keeping the world we already have. Your homework. 1. Look up the Phoebus Cartel and read about the 1953 court case that finally challenged their practices. 2. Write down one question about any of this episode's topics. If you don't have a question, just write, "No question." 3. Optional. Journal for 5 minutes about an object you own that has been repaired. Does it feel more valuable to you than something brand new? Why or why not? As you leave the greenhouse today, think about the worm. The worm is the world's greatest repair technician. It doesn't ask for a new planet, it just fixes the one it has by turning waste into wealth. Until our next class, keep your feet in the living roots. Class dismissed. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to support the Pieces Here podcast, the most helpful way is to follow it wherever you're listening. It helps share the message with others. You can also support this piecework at my Patreon for $4 a month, about what a used paperback goes for these days. Just go to Patreon at patreon.com/Avis Kalfsbeck. That's AVISKALFSBEEK. My most recent book is Manamu Tante, a best friend eco-fiction novella about food systems, featuring Tilly, Camas, Pedro, and the rest of the gang. It's book 6 in the Pedro the Water Dog Saves the Planet series and is available wherever you buy books. You can find all of my peace projects and stay in touch at aviskalfsbeck.com. Music is by Javier Peque Rodriguez. Sound effects are from Pixabay. Regarding peace, we need not delay or despair. We are not late. We are right on time to love. We are all scholars of peace. Listen for the peace.